morning, guys. There is that bell. I appreciate you guys joining up today. I tried something a little bit different today, leaving the charts up while I was waiting for the market to open here. And oh man, Tesla had the touchy touch I have apparently on the chart down here around 230. Sheesh, Tesla must have sold off a lot at open. This thing's been turning over all morning ever since the inflation data started to come out. But what is the big news today? What has everybody been waiting for? It is that CPI inflation data. And guys, it came in hotter than expected. So the core actually came in at the same exact, well, I shouldn't say, the core month over month came in at the same previous number. The core year over year came in down actually 0.1%. So core falling a little bit, that's great, right? Shows inflation's going down. But we go look at the actual inflation rate year over year, which includes food and energy, actually popped up a little bit, 3.4% on the actual. Look at the consensus, 3.2, forecast, 3.1. I've been seeing a lot of things saying that the analysts were forecasting anywhere from 3.1 to 3.2. So to see it come in at 3.4, definitely slightly hotter and higher than the last reading. So if we click on the inflation rate chart, that shows that inflation is starting to actually uptick a little bit here. You can see that coming in at the bottom of your screen, 3.4. You can see it's obviously starting to uptrend a little bit again. I wonder what the next reading will be. Will it be like 3.7 again or 4? That would be pretty nuts. I sure hope it's not, but we'll have to end up seeing how it goes. But so far at open, the market actually has been coming back a little bit. So in pre-market, it dipped down, it ran back up. It's getting a little bit volatile here, right? I'm curious if these stocks are going to end up really running down into the red today or if they're going to hold up. On the SPY, I'm watching a few key levels here. 476, 476.50. First big levels I'm watching, 476.50, I think will be even bigger than 476. And then 475 down here is what's really big. I marked it in these red arrows. I pretty much pointed to all the big hits where the SPY has hit recently. And then I have these two arrows pointing to these other recent wicks and touches that get very, very close to 475. Might not be exactly on 475, but it is very, very close, within like 25 cents or so, which whenever you're talking about SPY, you got to give or take like 20 cents realistically. But let's go though. See Bara, Manny, Victor, Paul, Christian, Jason, RSB, My Views, and Rick. Wow, My View said we'll market up or down at open. Tough question. Looks like it's actually moving up a little bit here, or it's holding up fairly well. In pre-market, when I first woke up today, the SPY was pretty brutal. So for it to have came back to 477.50, that's a lot better of an open than 475.50. So thank God it came back there. Let's go check in on Meta. I know that's been a pretty fun stock lately, and it's actually starting to turn over a little bit today, getting back under 370 and kind of under those supports from yesterday. So that's interesting there. Uh-oh. Hang on, what did that just say? Oh, I got you. What was I doing? I had an alert on a on some Disney options, but I must have traded those a while ago. That's funny. I got an alert on Thinkorswim from Disney options. That's funny. That alert must have been going for like months and just now hit. That's hilarious. How is Disney today? Ooh, they were up in pre-market and then down at open here, so they ran up and then fell. Penn Gaming's moving down, not good. How's DraftKings? Falling off a little bit still, sitting around 33.50. Look at that daily on the DraftKings. It's kind of retesting this trend line again. This purple trend line's being tested again. I really like DraftKings. I think it can end up doing pretty well, just not in the short term. I feel like the short term it might get a little bit more volatile. Same thing with the overall market. But I'll say this, if the SPY ends up running and breaks out to new all-time highs, like above 480 soon, obviously then stocks could go. And look at SPY coming back here and open. Wow, it's actually a nice surprise today. I'm really happy to see that. That's very nice. I think it would have been more fun to see a bigger drop. That way we could have had some more volatile plays. But wow, SPY's going up. Netflix is flying above $500 right now, up 5%. Let's go. $ NFLX over 500. That's pretty big there, guys. Holy shit. Look at the daily on Netflix. New highs of the past year. Wow, it just keeps going. What about Apple and Microsoft? How are they today? Looks like they're actually up a little bit too. Apple's not bad. Kind of rejecting a little bit, but... damn, I'll take that all day. Go Netflix. The more the merrier. How's Mara, Riot, and Coinbase? Wow, Mara breaking out above the high of yesterday. Beautiful. Coinbase. It's trying. How's BTC itself? Let's see. Okay, up to 48,000. We go to the daily. That's new highs of the year on Bitcoin too. So be ready here, guys. Bitcoin is starting to move back up again. Mara and Riot coming back alive. Wow, what a day. This is shaping up to be one hell of a morning. Yeah, nowhere. BTC breaking. What's up, Abundant? Amber, Lefty, Christian, Netflix, 498. Yeah, that thing got amazing, Christian. Wow. Can't even believe that. It's quite the move. Hey, Ryan. You're having a good day. Nowhere Man said Nvidia's dipping. Whoa, really? All this good movement, Nvidia dips? I guess it's dipping. I don't know. I can't count this one as a dip. Kind of staying high here. Not too bad. How's Microsoft again? All right, there it is, 390. 390 in play. Another all-time high. Wow, watch out for that SPY to get towards all-time highs soon. I mean, it's really, really close, the SPY is. It needs to just go up like 2 points, and we'll be right at the all-time high, so... yeah, Microsoft was amazing, Abundant. That was one hell of a run. Damn. Nvidia's still going too. So we got... what do we have at all-time highs right now? We got Microsoft, Nvidia, SPY almost. Tesla's not close. Google is not very close either. Although I love their chart on the daily, but you zoom out and they're not back to the highs of 21 yet. But to see some of these stocks breaking the all-time high is very, very enticing right here. That could push the market up above all-time highs too. Like, I've been watching Nvidia run, and I've been sitting here thinking to myself, like, if this run really does continue for much longer, I could see SPY breaking all-time highs, especially with stuff like Microsoft breaking highs too. I mean, all we need now is Apple to go green, and we're talking like a pretty big upside and balance here in the short term if we keep seeing too much more green. But see, Apple's falling over, and it's kind of dampening the party a little bit. But yeah, Apple's actually right at support from pre-market, 185.60. Yeah, bumped heads, yep. Kind of like that, isn't it? Hey, if you guys are in here today, make sure you're smashing that like button. Let's go. It's going to be a fun day in the markets between the inflation rate and everything like that. Then tomorrow we have that big banks reporting before the market opens. That's going to be a big event. Bitcoin stocks are going crazy. So let's go. Smash that like. It's been one hell of a week. The SEC got hacked on Twitter. That's pretty whack. Oh yeah, guys, smash it up.
All right.
I'm gonna make a quick poll here with the market. All right, guys, I'm making a poll about the S&P 500. Make sure you vote up in there. Yeah, Amber goes hacked. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Amber. That's really weird that it's very weird that that situation happened in that way. Very weird. Too many that's in that sense. Seriously. Vote up in that poll, though, about the S&P. I'm curious if you guys think we're going to see new all-time highs soon, or if we're going to reject, or just go sideways. I'm curious because we're right there. We're within just a couple points. Boeing's going down today, but the overall market is fairly good, actually. It's not like it's running up a ton, but compared to that movement this morning, it's not too bad. Here's Nvidia. Starting to get a little bit of red coming in. Microsoft slowing up big time. Uh-oh. Maybe this will be where that rejection starts to happen. SPY itself is what's very interesting here. Right. For anybody just joining up today, the big news of the day is the CPI ended up coming in a little bit hotter than expected. Look at this inflation rate. Year over year came in at 3.4%. They were expecting 3.2 or 3.1%. So it came in a pretty... It's not like it's super high compared to what it was, but I mean, you know, for it to be up like 0.2% over the expectation, that is a pretty big number above expectation. But overall, it's not too crazy, but definitely a little bit worrying, like when you look at that number overall here. But that's the big news that moved the market today. So if anybody's wondering why the SPY was so volatile or something, it was definitely the inflation data. I'm sure most of you guys know, though, about that, but I'm sure there's a couple out there that might have been busy with work or something and maybe missed the news the past couple days. So just wanted to reiterate that. And hey, if you guys have any stocks you're watching that has big movement today, let me know. Looks like Coinbase is leading the way on my watch list. Netflix is right behind. Chewy is even going. Neo's up 2 or 3%, so getting some great movement here this morning. Chewy actually looks pretty awesome today, I'm not gonna lie. This looks like a pretty fire setup. Yeah, I like that $20 area here on Chewy. As long as it holds 20, the RR isn't too bad. I like this down here. It's been dipping a lot, bouncing right off 20 bucks today. That could be a fun play today if this holds up above 20. If it doesn't, I think you could have a stop right under 20 and just get out quick, but not bad. I like that setup there, Chewy. Go back over to SPY. Falling back off. I would expect the market down from that news this morning. I was kind of surprised to see it recover. It's a great little recovery there this morning, but I was kind of surprised to see it. SPY is now starting to move back a little bit more. Microsoft and a few other stocks are coming back down. So that's going to push the SPY a little bit lower short term. When I say short term, I mean really short term, like maybe like a few minutes, you know, honestly. Go back out to Google. Julia says inflation rate just shows that interest rates will not go down anytime soon. I mean, that's not totally true. That's not totally true. But it doesn't help. If you are wanting rates to go down, that doesn't help. But that's not totally true. But I see what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. It's just, you know, there's so much more at play than just the inflation reading. But if it does keep showing upticks like that, I could easily see that happening. Actually, I'll say this. From last night to this morning, the FedWatch tool is actually pricing in more of a cut now than it was yesterday. So explain that to me. They're actually pricing in more of a cut than they were yesterday. So I don't know. Seems like they actually got swayed a little bit more that way. So interesting. I'm thinking that they'll get towards like less cuts for next year at some point on the FedWatch tool. Keep in mind that these numbers change all the time. The March reading, which is 69% right now, showing that we're going to get a cut in March. This was actually all the way out to June. And then it went to May. And then it went to March. And it kept getting lower and lower and lower and sooner and sooner and sooner. And now, starting to stagnate a little more. Just stuck. If they do take the cuts away for March, that'll probably be pretty big. So keep your eyes on these percentages here, because if it does start to sway more towards no cuts for March, that'll probably be huge for the market. But for right now, they're still looking at cuts in March, which is interesting. Like I said, even more than they were yesterday before these numbers came out. So that's interesting to me. SPY falling down under 476.50. Moving down under the small intraday support I have here. How low is it going to get today? Maybe all the way down to 475. Wow. Man, he goes, Tom, it was expected coming off the holiday season. I mean, apparently it wasn't though, Manny. Not whenever you go look at the calendar, it was not expected. They were expecting 3.2 or 3.1. So I get it that you might have expected it. I expected it. I actually talked about it a ton last night on the nightly video. So go back and check it, Manny, if you want to. But, yeah, I kind of expected it. But hey, the overall market wasn't. So, I don't know how to say that there. Maybe you're arguing more for the FedWatch tool for the numbers staying higher. Exactly. Maybe they were expecting it. And maybe more of the market was expecting it. But hard to say exactly what you mean without... You know, if you would have said it's the FedWatch tool that you're talking about, you know, hard to understand a little bit, but yeah, I'm totally with you there, Manny, with that expectation. I definitely expected it to move up a little bit more. I was kind of saying that all week long on the nightlies. And it seemed like this holiday season was fantastic, right, guys? Like, a lot of stocks were running up towards highs. It's not like the market was down in the dumps or anything like that. It was pretty crazy of a time, actually. I'll say that. A lot of buying going on. You know, I didn't know one person that wasn't buying gifts or nothing, you know, so. My boss said I can't use the bathroom. Oh, Corbin, I feel you there, man. I used to actually do that sometimes, too. That's hilarious, Corbin. I used to do that all the time. At my dad's business, I would go into the bathroom for like 15 to 30 minutes, Corbin. If like a big event or something happened, I'm like, oh, I gotta shit. Sorry, guys, my stomach's upset today. Oh, man. And then I'd go trade in the bathroom. That's funny, Corbin. I like that. That's some boss stuff you're doing right there. Yeah, I feel you there, Manny. That's cool. Yeah, the CME makes sense, Manny. Good insight, man. Good insight. At first, I thought you meant the inflation rate coming in higher was expected. I was like, oh. At least expected by analyst standards, you know. Not by us. All right, let's go see Boeing. Falling off hard. SPY itself. Back down a little bit. QQQ. How's Microsoft here? Yeah, ran up a lot. 390, 390, 50. Moving all the way back down towards 385 now. Falling back. Market's dipping a little bit. Keep in mind, guys, that SPY is very, very, very close to the all-time high. I'm not saying the market's going to totally double top, but all I can say is that we've been starting to see a little bit of chop up around this upwards area. And this morning, we're kind of bouncing off of that again. So we just got to really watch the SPY at 480 here. It would be sick if we broke, but I'm just, you know, going back over it again because there's always that possibility that it could end up double topping here. Here's what I'll say. Nvidia running up to all-time highs. Microsoft at all-time highs. Other stocks like Amazon and Google close to all-time highs. Like, I feel like that the market could easily get to highs here if these stocks keep pushing, like Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft. We really got to see these stocks continue this push. But with the way that they've been breaking out, it's been really making me think like, hey, the SPY might start breaking all-time highs here, and that could be the play. Just keep it on the radar. At this point, with how close the SPY is to all-time highs, I'll say this. It's probably best at this point just to wait for a break. You know, like if you see 480 break, bam, hop into a quick move up. Maybe get into some good momentum as it breaks out. But we're so close right now, like it's just tough to buy calls at the moment if you're going to be swinging it for a couple weeks, right? Like, there's really almost no point, because once you see, if you just wait for the break and get in there, it'll probably be better, more volatile at the time anyways. You won't have to get hit with theta holding it overnight and stuff, but looking interesting here. I can't wait to see how this poll ends up, guys. 18 total votes. Come on, get more votes in. All-time high incoming. I'll be real with you. I think I'd be voting for that right now because it just seems like the market is just so resilient. It doesn't stop right here. Manny just bought into his future. Oh, he bought BITB. Haha, the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF. Nice. Nice, 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 Manny. I hope it does well for you. How's HODL? HODL. Oh, HODL's not on the market yet. Why isn't that one trading? Oh. Let me get the list up of these. Is this where the list was? Where's the list? Damn it, did I delete it? Oh. Damn. That sucks. Hang on. Let me see if I can go back and get it. Ah, there it is. GBTC is a pretty popular one, I'm sure. Really? This one's invalid too? Hold up. Is HODL on Thinkorswim? No. No. GBTC is though. Hang on, let me... Yeah, right here. Grayscale. Bam. There we go. Okay. Stupid TradingView. TradingView always takes you to the wackiest tickers. I swear to God it does. Like, I could type in, like, GBTC. It's gonna take me to some foreign stock or something. BRRRR's online. Yeah, let me get back to HODL. Let me retry. Okay, see, it is on. It's just stupid. Just TradingView is being dumb. That's all it is. HODL's on, though. Okay. Guys, HODL's up like 100%. What the? Holy shit, HODL. Is HODL gonna be like the most popular one or something? Why the hell is that happening? What's the volume? Let's see. The volume. It's so low. It's only like 5,000 volume on this today. That's funny. I hope it does well for you, Manny. I hope you guys enjoy the Bitcoin. I don't know. Personally, I'm not a big Bitcoin person. I've said that time and time again. That probably pisses a couple people off, but hey, you know, not everyone has to like the same things, but I don't know. Bitcoin to me just, I don't see it as in being like the big thing that everyone sees it as. I kind of like the US dollar being like regulated and stuff like that. Just wait till there's something like really, really bad with Bitcoin, you know, like imagine that there's like a situation like 2008 or like the .com bubble, but it happens with Bitcoin, right? Imagine something like that. You know, I'm just throwing random shit out there, but I don't know. With it not being regulated, it could be pretty whack, you know, it could. But at this point, it's pretty established. I think it's all right, but I don't know. Just a lot of thoughts go into Bitcoin when I think about the long term, right? Like a lot of people say like, well, that's going to be the next currency of the world or something. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I wouldn't think it is, but maybe. I don't think that the average person really likes something that costs like 50 grand for one coin. You know? I know you can buy like percentages of it, but still. It will get halved here soon, which is cool. Hey, for sure, Manny. I'm just talking about him in general, though. Hope it does well for everybody out there. I wouldn't be sad to see it move. I'm actually awaiting the day that Bitcoin gets to like 100K. That would be kind of cool. I've always thought that would be a cool number to see Bitcoin at. The sad thing is it's going to be halving. So hopefully it gets to 100K sooner than later before it halves. Do you believe more governance is good? More regulation and more power to the government is beneficial, TG Level Up said. You know, that's a good question. I think that there needs to be a good mix, TG Level Up. I'm not a big fan of more government or governance at all. I'm a big fan of smaller government and less governing for the most part. But with that being said, whenever you're looking at stuff like stocks, we got to keep in mind that there's a lot of bullshit out there. If stuff is not regulated, at least a little bit in the stock market, these big banks with billions and billions and billions of dollars could literally just fuck everybody over all the time. And trust me, they still try to do that. But at least it's regulated a little bit, right? Imagine if it wasn't. It would be totally manipulated 100% of the time. Some people say it is now anyways. I don't know. I still think the public plays a pretty big role too. But at the end of the day, imagine a stock market with no governance there. You're talking like during the COVID crash. Remember how there kept being there's circuit breakers and all that stuff, so the market doesn't just die off and sell off into oblivion, right? A lot of circuit breakers were getting hit, etc., etc., etc. That's going to be something that, imagine if those weren't there. Maybe the SPY would have ran down to like 150 in this scenario rather than 220 because it kept getting held up, right? There's a lot of different scenarios where you might say that the regulations are actually good, right? A lot of people think that regulation on stocks is generally a bad thing. Generally, it's to help you and keep the market more fair from like people manipulating it in a crazy, crazy way. So I don't know, Level Up. I'm kind of mixed. I like it, and then I don't. I think that it's good to have a little bit, obviously, because, imagine if the market had like a big like crash like 1930 or something again, right? Like, just look at that. Just go back to the Great Depression. Before there was as much regulation, the market totally shit itself, flipped upside down. They had to make something to regulate it or else it was gonna do it again, right? Probably. I'm worried for the day Bitcoin does something like that. Very, very, very worried. But I don't think it might not. It might not. So we'll have to see how that goes with time. But a little worried in case there's like ever like a flash crash or, something wild like that. But, keeping those algos in check a little bit more and the banks from fucking everybody over too much. And just like, dudes like George Soros could just totally like annihilate certain things with the amount of money that these people use and can control. Not just him, but other people. He's just a popular one. But that's my thoughts on the regulation. I don't know how you guys feel about stuff like that. I know that Bitcoin is very cool in that sense that it's not heavily regulated, but at the same time, that could be a double-edged sword at the end of the day if something crazy does happen. But I don't know, it's been pretty good since it's started, since it started. We got like a monthly chart. It's dipped a little bit, but like low-key, like a lot of stocks dipped that much too. I like it though. Pretty good movement today. Good movement back up. It is falling down slightly now. Let's go back out to HODL. I want to go look at VanEck again. Okay, not bad. 56.10. Volatile as hell. I wish it didn't have that big candle. GBTC again. BRRR. Burr. I like that one. That's cool. Oh, that's fun. I like some of these ticker names. They're cool. Levels for Tesla to the downside. Sure, Carlo. Selling off pretty hard here. Pretty hard. Look at that daily chart. Wow, Tesla looks rough, guys. Remember, we talked about this. It's rejecting off the trend. It did move above the trend for a couple days and then ended up coming right back down and under it. So, got a little bit brutal there. Hey, SniperBot put out a play, guys. If you guys want to go check that out in the chat on Apple. Looks like the 185 strike puts for January 12th, which is tomorrow, of course. Look at Apple intraday, starting to get pretty, oh my gosh, pretty damn low. Can't talk today again. 184 support down there. Starting to give out. Watch out for that. If 184 breaks with some good momentum here, I think we could see Apple go quite a bit lower. It's already fairly low, though, I will say that. But overall, not bad. Tesla to the downside. It's pretty rough. Let's see that hourly. Man, that's a big drop. Oh, wow, I have support here right at 225 to 226. So watch out for this area as support. It's actually like right on it as I speak. I think 220 would be the next major area I'd like to see Tesla get to, though. That would be a good level here coming up. 220. Just keep in mind it's on minor support like right now. So Baba and Neo crashing. Any China news? I can't find any. How bad is Neo? My God, 735. Not too bad yet, but yeah, definitely getting a lot lower here. Damn, they had that good dip recently. I don't think there's any China news, but I'll try to see if Thinkorswim has anything for us. Baba actually had a bit of a price target adjustment to the downside today. They still have a buy rating. It's from Nomura. I've never heard of them, but maybe it's a China thing or something. No idea there. NIO. I don't know. It says they have battery swap tie-ups with JAC. Don't know what that is. But I don't know. I'm not seeing too much news out of China today. I don't see any China stock news necessarily. If you guys see anything, let me know. But for right now, it's looks like just normal movement, I'd say, Amber. The China stocks have been, volatile lately. And keep in mind, China has been talking a lot about going over to take Taiwan and all that bullshit too. So we got to keep that in mind. That Taiwan bullshit is really what I think is going to move China stocks or make the volatility kind of be a little bit whack in the short term. They keep talking about, they just don't stop whenever they're talking about Taiwan. Whoa, 475 got broken. And oh yeah, down to 474. Pretty insane candles today. Gosh, look at that 1 minute chart. That's crazy there. Wow, pretty big drops coming in. That's brutal. SPY's getting hit pretty hard now. This is more of what I expected. I could not believe at market open SPY ran all the way back up. I could though because I saw like Microsoft breaking out and stuff, so it made sense, but just given the inflation reading, I was expecting SPY to fall, so this actually makes a lot of sense now. Market's starting to get back to where I thought it would be today. There we go. There we go. Wow, 473.90, just continuing with the candles. More and more red coming in. I know that might not make some people happy, but, the market is wild out there. 29 total votes. 41% of you guys so far are voting for all-time highs incoming. Come on, let's get those votes up. These are some rookie numbers, guys.
How dare you?
Oh, see, Greta's mad that you guys didn't vote yet. You got Greta a little upset. Right. Maybe a bull trap. This is brutal now, Gengar said. Yeah, it is very brutal. Man, QQQ is looking wild here. Oh my gosh, guys. I put my shirt on backwards today. Holy crap. I gotta flip it around. Hang on. You guys would be laughing if the camera was on. Damn shirt. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. The Patriots got rid of Bill Belichick. Oh my lord, how did this happen? Bill Belichick is gone. That guy was only good because of Tom Brady anyways. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't want to start that argument. I saw a bunch of people arguing about that online the other day. Danny Amendola came out with a pretty big statement and said that he said, "We didn't play for Bill Belichick. We played for Tom." He said, "We worked for Bill." We worked for Bill and played for Tom, is how it was. That's awesome. Jason says, walk backwards. What? That's pretty insane, guys. Bill Belichick. Coaching genius, gone. Like nothing. Spy calls now. I'll tell you what, that's not a bad intraday support. I'll be real with you. It's not a bad support that we're on with Spy. I could see calls working out for a quick scalp, like a dip buy. Just keep in mind that the inflation data is kind of insane here today. Kind of insane. I guess I was too excited when I woke up today for the inflation stuff. Spy calls. Yeah, you know what? For a dip buy, it actually doesn't look too bad. If you keep your stop loss right under 473.60, right under the low of day here, not too bad of an idea. I don't know. It's hard to go against this downside momentum, though. We're on a day where there was inflation reading. The inflation readings end up being pretty damn important, usually. Hopefully it doesn't tank us down too much more, though. Hopefully there's at least like an intraday pop to like 475, but you never know. A lot of these stocks are starting to sell off pretty crazy, like Tesla. Even the ones that were moving this morning, like Microsoft. Like, they had a great run, but look at it now. We're right back down to the level under the level it opened at now, after that big run. That's pretty insane. Nvidia is the same way. Nvidia is actually more brutal. Even worse. It's like well below opening price. It's almost down to like below the closing price of yesterday now. And it is down 0.39% under there. Wow. Yeah, there's Spy, another red candle. If we were looking for uptrend here, this would probably be the entry point. You'd have to hope that it stops here. And you're not hoping, you know, you're forming a good plan, but, you know, I guess, well, let's be real. In the stock market, you don't know what's going to really happen. It's really all forming a good plan and then getting in. And I hate to say hoping, because, like, you know, whenever people say hoping, I feel like people automatically think of situations like holding GameStop and hoping that it pops, you know? Like, come on, that's a lot different than like an intraday breakdown here. Hey, they're just starting to hold a little bit, little green. QQQ is the same exact way, of course, makes sense. Too bad the market didn't want to make new highs there. Thought that would have been pretty cool. How's Zom? Trying to come back at 98.93. Kind of brutal. Oxy. I can't wait to see how crude oil does at the beginning of the year. Up to 73.06. I know it's been down a little bit. Kind of stuck down here. With crude, I'm thinking like slight uptrend beginning of the year and then downtrend coming in a little bit after, but We'll have to see. For anybody out there wondering, I did cut Zom a little while ago. I've been saying it a little bit on each stream so that if people missed it, they end up catching it, I guess. But definitely huge. Excuse me, guys. Grab a quick drink. Having some Sprite today, a bit of a weird one. Spy calls now. It's actually looking like a fairly decent setup here now. Nice little double bottom going on. It actually doesn't look too bad at all. Not bad. I like it. I like it. I like it. How's everybody's morning been today? I hope everybody's having a good morning out there in the stock market. How have the trades been going? I'm sure a lot of you guys are longer term traders, but for everybody trading short term out there, let me know what you're looking at. Let's go see if there's any big news dropping anywhere. Google cuts hundreds of jobs. Ooh, that's rough. Microsoft briefly tops Apple as most valuable public company. Ooh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool again. That is sick. Microsoft tops Apple. Wow, what an insane thing to hear. And it makes sense, right? I'll be real with you guys. Apple's an awesome company, but Microsoft is a little bit different, right? Like Apple, they're great. They have a ton of great products. I love their iPhones. I love their Macs. I love the MacBooks. I don't really like the Mac desktops, honestly. Kind of weak sauce if you compare it to the good PCs. But still great stuff. I'm very surprised that... Well, I should say this. I'm not too surprised that Apple is doing a little bit worse than Microsoft. Microsoft, keep in mind, they do a lot more with like AI. They do a lot more with, you know, they run Windows, which is huge. When's the next Windows coming out? What is it? Windows 12 or what is it? What are we on now? 13 or maybe they'll just call it something else, right? There'll eventually be a new Windows. Tons, you know, they have a bunch of different things that they do at Microsoft, whereas Apple's just generally into those major product lines and cloud computing and stuff. But both are great companies. Just, you know, Microsoft I feel like is a little bit more diverse, especially when you talk more about AI and some of those other things. Obviously Apple gets into AI too, but hell, even at Stocked Up, we use AI. So some are more advanced than others, obviously, though. All right, Microsoft starting to bounce up off those lows of day. Spy, nice recovery off that low there. Who said to buy calls a minute ago? Jason. That could have been nice up to 475. Look at that. Ended up being perfect. Held that double bottom. Could have had the stop right under there. Nice jump up to like 475. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Justin said flat today. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. Nice, Jason did it. Beautiful, Jason. Beautiful. Great trade. Great trade. I wish I would have hopped on it now that I'm looking. Hindsight, right? It was setting up good. That's how I would have set up the trade, the way I was looking. Not bad. Gave all those levels there. What about CUTR or DCGO? Cutter or DCGO? Caught me thinking like you, Tom. Nice, Jason. Hey, you're the one who called it out. Or brought it to my attention. Nice one. Give me just 1 sec, guys. I gotta go get another drink. I actually just ran out of water. Sadly. How do you run out of water? Let me run to the kitchen real quick, guys. Don't go anywhere. If you go anywhere, Greta's gonna give you a problem, guys. She's gonna show up at your house and she's gonna show up with those protesters that protest Powell's meeting when he had to shut the fucking door. Be right back, guys.
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could, for example, have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time, or any length of time you wanted. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes.
All right, guys, I am back. Thanks for sticking with me there. What went on while I was gone? Did Bitcoin pop? Let's go see BTC USD. All right, not a bad day, really. Hey, not bad. Look at that daily move. But on the 1 minute chart, just started basing off the support down here, kind of like the SPY, running up to 48K on Bitcoin. SPY itself sitting right around 474. Still looks fairly bullish here. I'll say this setup looks like it could go a little higher, in my opinion. If I was playing it from down here, like we were talking about earlier, I'd probably take at least half profits right here and then maybe let the rest go, see what happens. But it wouldn't be bad to TP the whole thing. Lucid might be a penny stock after today. It already is a penny stock. I can't remember what they count as penny stocks, but I think it's anything under 5 people count as penny stocks. Holy fuck. Oh my god. That is brutal, guys. Holy shit, Mason. That's a new all-time low. All-time low. Holy shit. That is brutal. Lucid Motors, I'll be real with you guys, and I'm just being totally honest. I do not like them. I don't like them. I don't like their cars. I don't like their brand. I don't like the Lucid Air. I think the Lucid Air is the most overpriced sedan I've ever seen. It might look fairly decent, but like realistically, I mean, it looks like a glorified Chevy Cruze or something. Like, for real. I don't know how good the quality is inside, but I don't know. Like, if I were ever gonna spend the type of money to buy a Lucid Air, I don't know anybody that would do that. Seriously, I don't know anybody. To me, if you're gonna spend that type of money, go buy a Mercedes AMG. Go buy a Corvette. Go buy a freaking used Porsche that's 100 grand. You know, something cooler. I don't know. What do you guys feel? Do you guys like the Lucid? I mean, the Air looks all right, but like, it just looks like an old Kia to me, or like a Kia Sorento. Look at this, Kia Sorento, or not a Sorento. God damn it, I don't know my Kias anymore. Kia SUV. Did they not make, or not SUVs, Kia cars? Not the K5. It was like an older Kia, but it does kind of look like the K5. Yeah, the Optima. That's what it is. Like right here, it almost looks like the Kia. Look at that. Look at that in the front. That literally looks just like this $100,000 sedan. Like, look at the front right here. You're like, it's like the exact car. I don't know. Lucid has never wowed me. Never. I mean, yeah, never. I will say this, Rivian is a little bit cooler. I'll give it that. Rivian is pretty sick. I like some of these. Like, at least they make a truck. That looks like a Ford Bronco. Maybe it's just a personal thing with me not liking them, but too overpriced. Jason said, next you're gonna say windmills kill too many whales. They do, Jason. No, the windmills kill the birds. I know that there's a select few of you guys that'll know exactly what I'm referencing here whenever I say the windmills kill the birds. And the few of you guys that do, you deserve a reward. Windmills are, whenever you look into them, I can't believe how inefficient they actually really are. They break, they kill all the birds. Whenever I was driving from St. Louis to Chicago, I went through a windmill field or something. I don't know. There was like windmills everywhere. It was like you would look over to the side and you would just see thousands upon thousands upon thousands of windmills. It was pretty insane. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those in person, but it was wild. Those things are huge. Yeah, Texas too. That makes sense, Jason, I guess, because there's a lot of open ground, I guess. I know Cali has quite a bit somewhere. Yeah, Jason beat me to it, Cali. All right, SPY coming back. Breaking above 475 now. There we go. Got above that little resistance. Not bad. Amber said they are all over Europe. Fields and fields. Wow. Amber, do you live in Europe, Amber? Or have you just been there? That's pretty cool. How's my Euro gang out there? Anybody out there from Europe? Let me know in the chat. Actually, you know what? Let me know in the chat if you're just not from the US. I think that would be interesting. I'm curious where everyone's from. If you're not from the United States, let me know what country you're in. That'll be extremely interesting to see, actually. Oh, that's cool, Amber. How do you like it over in Europe? Is it pretty nice? I'm gonna have to go one day. I'm in Florida, which is like being from another country. I guess so. That's funny, Amber. Carlo says SG. What's SG, Carlo? Is that Singapore or were you trying to say SQ? Nope. DraftKings getting a little bit lower today. Not good. Nice, Carlos. Singapore. Okay. That's awesome. Andrea says Canada, it's snowing. Yeah, that's awesome. It's actually been snowing a lot in the US too. Amber said, where are you, Tom? Ohio? No, I'm actually from St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri. Right dead smack in the middle of the country, essentially. Pretty much in the middle. It's pretty fun here. I really like the laws. You know, they really suit my style. They have constitutional carry with the guns. The gun laws are really relaxed. I love that. Love that a lot about Missouri. They also legalized marijuana here, which is kind of cool. They, I don't know. The laws are pretty neutral, which is sick. The only thing that pisses me off is that They use the goddamn California emissions testing in the county I live in, because I'm too close to the city. So they make me do emissions testing and shit, which I cannot stand emissions testing or any of that. Jason said, do you carry wherever you go, Tom? I do, as long as it's legal for me to do so, Jason. As long as it's legal for me to do so, I do. So, yo, you got to keep that in mind, because, like, look, if you go out to, like, let's say you, yeah, like, going out to buy diapers, yes, exactly, Jason, yeah, yep. I got it right here. The Glock 43X. Yeah, diapers I would, yeah. See, though, you gotta know your gun laws really carefully, though, because, like, let's say you decide, I'm gonna go out to the bar and watch a football game with my buddy, right? And, like, let's say you have a beer, and you bring your firearm with you, and you have a beer. That is actually a felony. To have any alcohol with your firearm at all is a felony. So, I believe it's a felony. Don't quote me on that. It's something really bad if it's not a felony, but, I believe it is. You know, you can't be impaired or with anything that will impair you or anything along those lines with that. As a European here asking, why even carry? Oh no. Witya, I don't want to necessarily start like a huge conversation on that. I was just talking about like my own personal likes. But here's what I'll say, Witya, is the United States is a very special place. And whenever we say special, it's kind of like, here's what I'll say, is that it feels like, it might not totally be true, right? Because it's not like we're totally free, you know? But let's just say we have a lot more freedoms here, right? With those freedoms, you're allowed to defend yourself because you got to think of it this way. It's your body, your life. Nobody should be able to come up to you and threaten you with a weapon or something like that and totally overpower you and get you. In the United States, we have the belief that you should be able to defend yourself. And it is a thought that has been gone and has been thought over a lot, right? And with all the citizens actually owning firearms, our government cannot do all of the stuff that European governments and other governments can. For example, our government gets a little bit freaked out that there's so many people with these firearms. Because, like, look, if they do something, like, really whack, people will, like, go crazy, right? We saw it already. It's been starting to get pretty crazy out there in general. But really, that's what it is. Just total freedoms here. That's the main thing. Carlos says freedom of choice. Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not even going to get into that topic, but that's the main reasons why we like them. It's not really like a war zone here like people say either. Like, I'll be real with you, the media really overblows the firearm stuff with the United States. And people who aren't from the US, I've had a lot of conversations with my friends who, on video games, like I've played games with a lot of people from Canada, a lot of people from Germany, a lot of people from the UK, actually. And all of them are all so anti USA and anti-gun and all that stuff, you know, I'll say this, unless you grew up with it here in the US, it's very hard to understand. It's very hard to understand. But that's the main thing. It's just defending yourself, freedoms, and, you know, it's, it allows us to continue to have at least the small freedoms that we do get to have, right? Slowly, though, the US is becoming more and more and more like the other, like Europe, so eventually, I'm sure the guns will be gone. Sadly. We'll see how that goes, though. That'll probably create a big war or something. We'll see. All right, back to the stocks. How's SWBI, since we're talking about those? Smith & Wesson. Okay, nothing too crazy about RGR. Ruger. Amber said it feels very much like a war zone to me. Well, Amber, that might have just been your own one little circumstance, right? Like, I've never had a gang war anywhere around me. But see, I would never live where that would be happening, Amber. So, you know, if somebody had a gang war outside my house, that would be pretty wild. Okay, like, I'm being real here. Like, where I live, if that happened here, that'd be nuts. I don't know, people would be like, I don't know. People would think it's going crazy, but yeah, exactly. It depends where you live. All that stuff makes a big difference in the US, I'd say. A lot more. And it's pretty evident, you know, like, obviously, like, the bigger cities and stuff, you start to see a lot more crime with those types of, like, firearms and stuff, and are those friends playing COD, he said? Oh, Witya said, why carry when you go shopping? Oh, Witya, that's because if somebody ever tries to, like, rob ya or tries to do anything to you, you can, you know, defend yourself, Witya. Yeah, I feel you there, Amber. You know, sometimes it's just terrible. We got to keep in mind that a lot of those are actually illegal firearms too, that get used in a lot of those gang shootings and stuff like that, Amber. And if they are illegal firearms, they shouldn't have had them anyways, right? So even if there were laws to take away the guns, they probably would have gotten them anyways. And that's the big problem here. That's the problem. They're gonna be able to get these anyways. Like, there's tons of ways to get them. Yeah, like Amber says, steal them from cars, steal them all types of ways. They even, nowadays, people even, like, make them, like, in their own houses and stuff with, like, 3D printers and all that bullcrap. But all right, back to the stocks here. No more firearm talk today. I didn't mean to get all into that, guys. And, you know, I respect all views out there. I'm not going to be upset if somebody doesn't like them and somebody does. You know, that's a totally fine thing if you don't. I didn't mean to get totally into that, but just, you know, just giving some insight maybe for people who didn't, trying to answer Whitya's question a little bit more. All right, HODL is now available. Yeah, it was actually doing pretty good. I saw it today. Yeah, here it is up here. Had that wild candle, but it's been moving pretty good so far. Not bad. Oh, you're fine, Whitya. You're totally fine. I thought it was a nice question, actually. Thanks for asking it. I just know a couple viewers dropped off. They were probably like, oh, quit talking about this, you know? We lost like 10 or 15 people during that time. That's funny. That's funny, Mason. Carlo said you 3D print a gun. Does it actually work? Apparently it does, Carlo. Now, obviously, I've never done that. I think it's highly illegal or something, but if you don't do it right. But I know that people do it. I watched a big documentary on ghost guns, is what they call it. So look that up sometime on YouTube if you're interested. Well, guess we know how many voted for Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe, Gengar. Oh, boy. Gengar says, I identify as Glock. I'm offended. Chad knows a guy that 3D printed. Oh, no. I'd be careful saying that, Chad. Crap. I'd be careful saying that outside. Out loud too much. You never know who's watching out here. I love it though, Chad. Hey, Chad, what is that in your picture here? What is that? You have like a fish or something? That's pretty cool. Looks huge, whatever it is. The picture's really small though, hard to see. All right, QQQ. All right, rejecting still 4. The market's been really flat and stuck for like an hour now. Not doing anything. Oh shit. He was on my property. I like it, Chad. NVDA starting to trend back a little bit lower. How's AMD? We're gonna have to go over to the SM bot because it's hard to find that momentum now. Not really too much moving. Mara puts. Whoa. Mara and Coinbase puts are being called out a ton on the SM bot. Wow, Mara is turning around hard. I bet you that there's a lot of people pissed off with this today. Man, where's everyone who was buying those Mara calls earlier? Let me get Bookmap up for somebody that wants it on SPY. Josiah is down 8% on Cutter today, CUTR. Right after this loads, I'll get you the Cutter. Whoa. All right, CUTR, how's that looking? Wow, Coinbase is just getting so brutal on the day. Qterra or Qterra? I don't know how to say the company name, but I know the stock's been doing pretty good lately. I've seen it pop up a few times over the past, I'd say, few weeks. 100 shares. He's up 8% today. Nice. That's actually pretty good. 8%. 100 shares. Not too much shares, but not bad. It's a $400 stock. It might get some good movement to it as time goes. What does this company even do? Qterra. Or Qterra, or... I'm guessing it's Qterra. Oh, down 8%. Oh, my bad. I see now. Down. I read it wrong. Is it really 8%? Wow, yeah, it's down 9%. This little move was 9. That's... Hey, at least it's bouncing off the 420 support.
All right.
Oh, that's good. They make medical equipment. Okay. Man, it's just so low in price. It's a penny stock, essentially. Anything under $5 is like a penny stock, so. Okay, so they make equipment for national practitioners, or national. What do they call them? Nurse practitioners and nurses. That's what it is. IDK, their profits are solid and growing. Well, they might be starting to grow now, but Have the profits been good throughout this whole huge downtrend? I guess it's kind of like COVID. Man, this stock is just brutal, man. Let me go look at it on the dashboard real quick. Let me look at the profits. Were you lying to me? These profits aren't growing. Are you kidding? Look at their revenue. It's not even growing at all. It's been stuck for like 2 years straight. It's growing from the last reading they had, at least, but that's good, I guess. The price of sales is very low. I'll give them that. Look at their net profit margin, though. It's negative 31%. That's terrible. That's pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. That's rough. That's worse than, like, Tesla. Oh, it's like the exact same. Oh, no, it's not. At least Tesla's net profit margin is actually in the profit a little bit. 11%. Let's go look at something like Apple. What is their profit margin? 25%. What about Ford? Is theirs negative at least? I'm trying to find another one with negative 30% margins. I mean, that's pretty bad. They are not really growing their profit. Or they're not growing their revenue too much. Or honestly, can I put profit on here? Gross profit ratio. Yeah, this is not going up. They're not growing really at all. Interesting. They deserve to be at this price based off those numbers I just saw. Wow. Maybe not this price, but man, no wonder they're down so much. Maybe once they get some hype back with something, they could start to go, like a new product or... I don't know. Interesting, though. Josiah said, I guess I was looking at revenue, not profit. Well, revenue's not really growing either. I mean, when I was looking at it, like, look, here's the revenue at the top right of your screen. The revenue is in blue. So, like, look at... They've had the same revenue numbers for, like, 2 whole straight years now without any real growth. The only time it grew was from Q1 over to Q2, which it actually grew that same amount in 2022 as well. So, and it actually has less revenue now than they had in Q2 of 2022. So, I don't know. We'll have to eye this one back up maybe, but so far it doesn't seem like it has the best fundamental numbers associated with it, but... Before... Well, see, that doesn't really... Yeah, I get you, Josiah, but look, in reality, it's not the best, all right? It's... Even if I went further out, let me go to annual. Yeah, I see you. I see you now. I see what you're saying. I feel you. It is growing a little bit. I can't wait for the whole 2023 year to post. It might actually be down a little bit in that case, but it is actually year over year it's been going up. Just, I guess the past 2 years has been where it's just kind of been stuck. Because 2023 doesn't count on that chart there, so we'll have to see. It just needs a couple more readings on the earnings, but not the best. And I would put it more towards the bottom end of things, but it's not terrible. I'll give it that. At least the year-over-year numbers were pretty good. Boeing starting to dip back a little bit more. How's Nvidia dipping back again? Right at 540, it might break down. Just any opinion on Meta breaking low of day? Oh, that could be a fun play to the downside. Let me eye up support. Oh, yeah. If Meta breaks this, like, 366 support, I think it could go a lot lower. This is looking like a pretty good pullback type of setup to me, and I actually like it quite a bit. I've been hoping that Meta and a few of these tech stocks would start to die off soon, and we're starting to see that play out here today. Not totally die off, but, you know, just pull back. Meta's been doing so good. I'm waiting for some of these stocks to start to go on a good downtrend. One that's not just like 2 days, you know. Man, we need some better movement out here, though. Market's just getting choppy and flat lately. No fun. Yeah, and I'll be real with you, Josiah, like, I'm not a fundamental analysis, like, wizard out here, okay? So I'll be curious to see what Hunter says about this. You know, I'm not, like, a huge fundamental analysis guy who generally looks at, fundamental analysis all the time. So, you know, I'm just going off of just my basic knowledge of fundamental analysis, okay? That's basically what I'm going off of. I'm more of a trend trader and buying off of big dips and trying to really secure those better prices in that way. Because, you know, even though a stock might be overvalued, you know, it might keep going, right? Should you buy it? Maybe, maybe not. But sometimes it's worth it. So I still trade sometimes, like maybe a little overvalued stocks or something like shorter term, like a 3-month swing or something like that. But, you know, Hunter's the true fundamental analysis guy out there. I can't wait to hear what he has to say about that. If he gets a chance on lunch, we'll have to see. I'm curious what he has to say about it. All right, Meta, what do we got? Still breaking lower. There we go. 365.50, continuing on the downtrend. Justin. Appreciate you always joining up, Justin. You've been an awesome member of the live streams over the past few months. Appreciate you. Of course, I appreciate everybody out there. The electrician says ACHR. Sorry, I missed your message for a second. Archer Aviation. Nice. Look at the daily, $5. Starting to face off support. Very interesting. Like that. It's an interesting stock. An interesting name. I don't know what they make, but it sounds like they make something pretty cool. Obviously, that doesn't matter. But we'll wait till 1 p.m. Yeah, Manny. Hey, that's what for the bond auction, the 30-year bond auction later at 1. Yeah, be ready, guys. That should be pretty fun. I'm curious which way that's going to send yields here later. US 10Y, let's look at it today, is actually kind of flat. It's been flattening up a little bit as it rises. Hopefully it doesn't start popping up a ton more again. That would suck. Gengar said, explain the bond auction again, please. Gengar, I'll be real with you, man. The bond auction can get pretty complex. I don't even want to try to explain it to you because I'm just being honest. It's not like my... I don't have enough education on that matter, Gengar, to do it in a good enough way that I would think would be suitable for you guys, considering I want you guys to learn that the right way. So honestly, Gengar, I would go watch some videos on bond auctions, or I'll tell you what, maybe we'll just end the stream here today watching a couple videos on bond auctions, you know, learn a little bit together. Bond auctions explained. Let's see. All right. Yeah, we will do that. In about 12 minutes, we'll start that video about the bond auction. It should be pretty good learning time for everybody in here. You know, there's just so much that goes into it. I just don't want to like give you like a little overview and then, you know, you think something the wrong way because of me, right? I don't want that. A lot of people out there will try to act like they know what they're talking about with it, but in reality, they don't. So keep that in mind. I'm just being honest. At least I'm being honest with you guys. ACHR EV planes. Oh, wow. EV planes. That is an interesting one. Archer Aviation, they make EV planes. How interesting. How is that a possibility? Archer. All right, American Airlines. Still looks pretty good on the daily. Delta, not bad. LUB dipping down a little bit. I wonder if this little dip, I'm hoping it's just a couple days of consolidation and then we get a nice pop back. I've been liking the daily setup on Love and a few other of these stocks quite a bit. They haven't looked bad. Has anybody out there been to that new Cosmics thing yet? The new McDonald's locations? Those are kind of interesting. Cosmics. Got some interesting stuff on there. Like they serve cool drinks and pretzel bites and stuff like that. Interesting. Why is Coinbase down now? Well, it honestly looks like the Bitcoin hype kind of faded, I'd say. It still kind of looks like one of those buy the news or buy the rumors, sell the news types of events. Buy the rumors, sell the news, SM. Jason hasn't been to a McDonald's in ages. Oh. That's probably a good thing, Jason. But it's probably a good thing, but I'll say this, McDonald's is like my second home. It's not really, but I do like it a lot. A lot. Did you guys see that they're coming out with the double Big Mac? I'm gonna show you this from the Off Topic channel yesterday. Look at this shit. Double Big Mac for a limited time. And before you guys say, oh my god, that thing's gonna kill you. It's only 740 calories, guys. If you go to your favorite restaurant and you order a burger, it's probably way higher than 740 calories, so. Today might be the day, Jason said. Go get a Big Mac, Jason. I've been liking them lately. How long's it been since you had it? That's funny. So Bitcoin hit 49,000 this morning and now came all the way back to 46K. Wow. I'm not seeing any specific news as of why it would be tanking this bad, but here's one thing I'll say, SM, is Coinbase. We got to keep in mind a lot of people. Why has everybody been buying Coinbase? To have that exposure to Bitcoin. People might now they might start to sell Coinbase and buy the Bitcoin ETFs. Maybe that's a thought. They might do that. I'm assuming that a lot of these ETFs are going to take a lot of volume away from Coinbase. Definitely not today, but maybe just in general. So keep that in mind. Whenever people think of Bitcoin stocks, they think Mara, Riot, Coinbase. Mara, Riot, Coinbase. That's going to change now. Now they're going to start thinking of GBTC, HODL, IBIT, all those. But all right, hey, for everyone who stuck around, let's go ahead and watch the videos on the bond auction here. Just so we can get, you know, all of our facts straight. And let's see how this video goes here. It's an 18-minute video on this, so let's see how in-depth it gets.
Before we get actual decisions around the issuance of a bond, let's take a quick look at what is called the auction process. We've learnt in our first introduction to bonds that they are issued by governments, municipalities, corporations and banks. Corporations and banks typically issue bonds through an investment bank and sell them directly to investors at one price. Investment banks charge hefty fees for this service, but even after the fees have been paid, it's still the cheapest form of borrowing for most big companies. On the other hand, governments borrow much larger sums of money than companies. And understandably, governments are very sensitive about how much it costs them to borrow these vast sums of money. To keep costs to a minimum, governments sell bonds through an auction process, which enables them to borrow at the cheapest possible cost. The auction process is an established issuance procedure through which governments issue bonds. The Treasury or central bank of a country advises the bond market that they're about to issue a new bond for X amount. The bond market and its investors are invited to tender bids based on the interest rate that the government will have to pay for this new borrowing. The government will obviously borrow from those investors who bid the lowest interest rate, which achieves the objective of borrowing as cheaply as possible. The auction process introduces us to a major aspect of bond trading and investment. Governments want to borrow as cheaply as possible, and investors want to receive the highest interest rate on their investment. The level of the interest rate that turns out to be an acceptable borrowing cost for the government, as well as an acceptable return for the investor, is the price or yield in the bond market at which a particular bond trades. This situation applies to all bonds, as long as they are for the same maturity and credit risk. You'll see later why these two factors are critically important in the structuring and pricing of bonds. We now know that governments issue bonds through the auction process, and that banks and corporates issue new bonds through investment banks. All bonds have an established issuance procedure, with each new issue structured using well-established market conventions. Auctioned government bonds are issued through what are known as primary dealers. These are major banks and financial institutions of a country that have been appointed to distribute a new bond issue on behalf of the government to the investors who've made successful bids for a new issue. Whenever you buy a bond, your broker will ensure that you have all the rights to which an owner of that bond would be entitled. This registration process is important, making it easy for the investor to sell the bonds at any time in the future, if they so wish. The typical bond investor will invest
This is
in
pretty
bonds
slow,
at
guys,
some
but I hope
point
you're
in
learning
time
something.
after the issue date. However, whether they are investing in a new issue or a bond that has been in existence for a period of time, investors want to be reassured about a number of important issues. For example, what is the interest rate they're going to earn on the bond? What is the maturity of this bond? How many years before the capital will be repaid? Is the borrower, the bond issuer, creditworthy? Will they get their interest payments and receive their capital back at maturity, on time and without problems? Are they legally protected should the borrower not meet their obligations to pay them? What is the seniority of the bond? Does the bond have any collateral that would mean better repayment protection for me? These points are key issues in the structure of a bond. So in the next few pages, let's examine them one by one. Question: what is the interest rate I'm going to earn on the bond? The interest that is regularly received on a bond is known as the coupon. Using the word coupon to describe this regular interest rate is an historical custom. It relates to the days when a bondholder had to claim their interest payments from the issuer by tearing off a coupon attached to the bond certificate and sending it to a paying agent to claim the interest. Nowadays, a custodian such as Euroclear makes sure that coupon interest payments are made directly to the registered investor on the due dates. Coupons on government bonds are typically paid every 6 months, and coupons on corporate bonds are paid annually. The coupon interest amount is fixed on the date that the bond is issued, and it doesn't change throughout the life of the bond. This means that the investor knows exactly what the cash flows on the bond will be right up to its maturity. On the date of issue, the coupon interest rate will be close to what the bond market considers to be the interest rates, or the fair return, for a bond with this particular maturity and credit risk. These factors are key considerations when establishing a coupon interest rate. If the coupon rate is higher than these factors indicate, then the borrower is probably paying too much for their debt. If the coupon rate is below what these factors indicate, then investors will not buy the bond because it doesn't pay them a high enough interest rate. On the 3rd of October 2016, we buy a bond for €100,000 in Alpha Bank on the day it's issued. It's a 5-year bond maturing on the 3rd of October 2021, and it pays a coupon of 5% annually. We pay €100,000 cash to our broker who buys the bond on our behalf. We're now the owner of the bond. Given this information, we can now work out how much the coupon payment will be and when we'll receive it. The bond matures on the 3rd of October 2021. This tells us that the annual coupons will be paid on the 3rd of October each year, starting on the 3rd of October 2017. If this bond had paid semi-annual coupons, you would receive half the coupon on the 3rd of April 2017 and the other half on the 3rd of October 2017. Once you know the maturity date of the bond, you can easily work out the coupon payment dates. So how much will we receive each year? This is also easy to calculate. It's simply the face value of the bond times the coupon amount. In this case, it will be €100,000 times 5%, which is €5,000. We'll receive this amount every year on the 3rd of October, until the bond matures on the 3rd of October 2021, when we will receive the last coupon, and also our €100,000 initial investment will be returned. Once again, if the bond had a semi-annual coupon, we would receive €2,500 in April and €2,500 in October.
Oh my
This brings
gosh,
us
the
to an
SPY just
important
keeps
fact
going
about
down.
bonds that we must remember. The coupon amounts and the face value of the bond never change. The bond's price can change, but the coupon and face value don't. We'll look at how bond prices change in the next topic. So does it matter what the maturity of the bond is? How many years before the capital will be repaid?
I mean, this is really good education, but I feel like
that the longer the term,
this is like great education. I hope it's not putting everyone to sleep, but it is pretty good education overall. We'll probably go ahead and end the stream once this video's done. So, if you guys don't like this, that's all right. We'll probably end the stream in about 9 minutes when it's done anyways, but I think a lot of you guys might learn something from this, especially the people out there are, more willing to like sit down and learn. So, it's good to watch this. Just give it some time, give it a watch, and yeah, let's see how it goes. Spy itself falling down pretty big. So far, it's been a little bit boring, but I think they'll get more into some fun aspects of them here soon. I need the kindergarten version. I feel you there, Gengar. I feel you, but all right, I'm gonna throw it back on.
Time of an investment, the greater the risk that they might not get their money back.
Yeah, but Spy, right? Spy's pretty fun here. Falling off today pretty hard. That's a brutal drop to the downside. Look at Meta as well. A pretty big pullback coming in. That's a big drop here by Meta. How's Nvidia? Hopefully it's not as bad as Meta is. Let's see. Spy itself is awesome. Yeah, Manny, we were just looking at it. Gonna test the lows. Yeah, it actually is getting pretty low here. 475 was a pretty big area that I was watching here, Manny. And with it breaking under there today, it's had some pretty brutal drops under there. It even tried to retest 475, 475.50, rejected. Right back down now. Get down to that low of day. We'll have to see how this goes here. Another rejection around that all-time high. I was kind of hoping for like a nice push to the upside here, but that's a pretty crazy drop. Damn, Spy. Yeah, that's a brutal one there. Biggs moves to the downside. Looks like it might reject off 473 here and come back a little bit lower. I've had 473 on my chart, 473.60. Got some bounces at both of these levels today. That's good. Glad I had those levels marked on the chart. But yeah, so far looking pretty bearish, I'd say, on the day. Meta seems like there's a lot of opportunity there as it falls. Might be a little bit too low on the day, though. I'll down quite a bit, actually. Go to Google. Yep. Also, Apple's probably pulling back. Yep, pretty bad drop. Intraday trying to come back a little bit, but like that movement with the Spy itself. QQQ is definitely interesting. Bitcoin is the one where it's like, wow, like that is quite the drop. It had a great morning. Awesome morning up to 49,000, then big sell-off. I hope people don't start taking profits up here. Hopefully Bitcoin can keep going over the next few days and few weeks. I would hate to see it start to truly downtrend, like back into the 30,000s area. That would be a little bit whack. Like, let's say it fell back down to like 35 to 40K. That's definitely brutal. So let's hope that doesn't happen. I thought this morning that whenever the Bitcoin started finally moving up, I thought we were going to get a good break, maybe 50,000, maybe even higher. And then it started really turning back. We just have to watch this situation play out very carefully. You know, a lot of these buy the rumors, sell the news events end up being pretty crazy sometimes. I'm hoping that Bitcoin does not do that this time, but you know, you always have to be wary of something like that happening and have a plan in place just in case, or else you're just trading blind in reality. But you don't want to just have that blind euphoria of always up, I guess. All right, let's get back to our video here. And like I said, probably end the stream after this video is a little bit after it's over. Appreciate you guys joining up, though. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. Maybe we shouldn't even watch it. I feel like a lot of people don't even want to. This video's been pretty whack, I'll say. Not whack. It's been educational. Just, you know, we need like Bill Nye the Science Guy explaining bond auctions for us.
Essentially, longer-term debt creates a greater probability of something unexpected happening. Because of this, for a particular borrower, investors expect higher coupons on bonds with longer maturities compared to those with shorter maturities issued by that borrower.
Yeah, I feel like that's just going to put everyone to sleep. I'm with you, though, Jason. Manny likes it. Losing my pants today, Jason said. Oh, sorry, Jason. But yeah, well, we'll just go ahead and end it here and play the video.
At this point,
let's go.
We should mention interest rate risk.
Thank you, Manny.
Interest rate risk is by far the most significant risk faced by a bond investor. Once a bond has been bought, changes to market interest rates will have an impact on the bond's price. What actually happens and how the risk is measured will be explained in our next topic on bond prices. For the moment, remember that interest rate risk exists in bond investment and must be considered by the bond investor at all times. The choice of maturity for a bond has an impact on both the borrower and the investor. The borrower knows that issuing bonds for a longer maturity will cost more because the coupon will be that much higher. The borrower may decide to issue a bond for a shorter maturity to keep costs down. Remember that once the coupon is set, the borrower's interest rate cost is fixed for the life of the bond. The investor, on the other hand, may not want to invest in a short-term bond and may only be interested in the higher coupon on a longer-term bond. Once again, we'll discover that the supply and demand created by borrowers and investors will find common ground in a maturity and coupon that suits everyone. Investment banks structuring a bond for a corporate client must ensure that the bond will be sold. It's essential that the issue is attractive to potential investors. It's the job of the investment bank to research and identify the coupon that fits market requirements for a particular issue. We should emphasize here that even if you buy a bond on the issue date, you can subsequently sell it at any time. However, as with all traded instruments, its price can change. Is the borrower, the bond issuer, creditworthy? How does the investor assess the risk of a borrower not paying interest or returning capital? We need to know what the credit rating is for this class and maturity of bond. A public rating by S&P, Moody's or Fitch will usually be required for corporate and government bonds. These ratings take the form of letters from A to C and D for default. A bond with a AAA rating would be considered to be an excellent credit risk. As the credit risk of an issuer increases, the credit ratings decrease, falling to AA, then A, then BBB, then BB, and so on, down to a single D. The bond market considers that bonds rated AAA down to BBB are high-grade bonds. Bonds rated BB and below are considered high-yield bonds. As an investor, you're entitled to expect that the coupons on high-yield bonds would be higher than the coupons on high-grade bonds. If high-yield coupons were the same as high-grade coupons, you would consider that the return on the high-yield bond does not compensate you for the increased risk of issuer default, and neither you nor any other investor would buy them. You could, of course, research an issuer yourself and come to your own conclusions as to their credit worthiness. However, this involves a lot of work and no small amount of expertise. The vast majority of bond investors use the ratings supplied by the credit agencies to give them an idea of the credit risk for a particular bond issue. The bottom line is that the lower the credit rating, the higher the return expected by investors. Are we legally protected should the borrower not meet their obligations to pay us? Bond defaults are rare, but when they do happen, it can be an unpleasant experience for the bond investor. Will I get all my money back?
Oh man, imagine
or
if the
perhaps
US
only
defaulted.
part of it, or in some cases, none at all. Bonds issued by governments and corporate bonds issued through banks are supported by extensive legal documentation. If anything does go wrong, there are appointed trustees who will work on behalf of the bond investors to ensure that their interests are protected and that everything possible is done to secure repayment of principal and interest. What is the seniority of the bond? Does the bond have any collateral that would mean better repayment protection for me? In the event of a company going bankrupt or defaulting on its debt, equity investors are the last investors to get their money back. Bondholders have priority and would receive their cash back before the equity investors. This is one of the major attractions of bond investment over equity investment. However, there is a pecking order even within bonds issued by a company. For example, senior bondholders receive their money back before junior bondholders. Additionally, many high-grade bonds have added security or collateral to further protect the bond investor's capital. Among other approaches, this could take the form of a guarantee from a bank or other company, or the bondholder could have first claim on certain assets of the company. There are many ways to structure this type of security or collateral in a bond. The investor has the choice of seniority or collateral in the bonds in which they invest. However, safety has its cost. The more collateral or security a bond has, using an auction process. Investors can buy government bonds from the primary dealers. Corporate bonds are issued by investment banks, taking into account the credit rating, coupon, and maturity of the bond, so as to make the issue attractive to investors. Many banks have trading desks that buy and sell corporate bonds. Documentation. An investor is assured that the contractual documentation will be in order if the bond is issued by a government or investment bank. Coupon. What is the coupon amount and how often is it paid? Do investors consider that the bond coupon adequately compensates them for possible issuer default? Credit rating. What is the public credit rating of the bond? An investor needs this information in order to assess the risk in the investment. Maturity. Are investors interested in the specific maturity term of the bond? Would they prefer a longer or shorter maturity? Security. Does the bond have any security or collateral that minimises issuer default risk? The last thing that we need to examine to complete our understanding of bond structure is the price of the bond. How it's quoted and why it changes is the subject of our next topic.
Whoa, all right, guys. Well, hey, that was a pretty good learning experience about bonds, right? It might be a little bit monotonous, hearing about all of those things that she was talking about, but they're all very useful whenever you're trying to learn how the bond auction process works and how bonds also just work in general. They went over quite a bit of stuff there, guys. So I hope that helped you out a little bit. I know the bond auction's later today at 1 p.m. The big thing is just look at yields as that auction happens, right? Start to see how the yields are moving. And then we can start to gauge how the market moves from there. Generally, if the yields start running up, the market will start to run down a little bit. So later in the day today, you'll see the news come out, how the auction went. Just see how the market's moving. Try to maybe identify a good flow of price action and then get into that momentum. That's really going to be the way to do that later on today at 1 p.m. Eastern. So be ready for that. But other than that, you know, we had that big CPI data today. Inflation is going up a little bit. It's starting to move the market down slightly. Now, I will say this, the market's still very close to highs. Even though it's down today, in retrospect, still very, very close to the highs. So I think that we're good to go still for a possible all-time high break. It might just take a little bit. So let's see how the market shapes up later today, heading into tomorrow. And maybe the bond auction news will send us right back up and we'll be right back at 478 at the end of the day. I sure hope so. If not, you know, we'll have to be careful and maybe just look at downside plays tomorrow. I wouldn't necessarily look at them too much later today down just because the market's already down so much. Obviously, it can keep going, but on an intraday basis, I would never really expect too much more than this on the average day. So I hope everybody out there enjoyed the stream. Appreciate you, Manny, Jason, of course, Justin, Gengar, everybody who stuck through that video. If you stuck through it and you ended up watching the whole thing, pat yourself on the back. You know, you're somebody that's out there looking to learn and looking to better your trading career. So I appreciate you guys who stuck with us. And of course, I appreciate everybody, even the lurkers out there. So let's go, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your Thursday. I hope that you all have a great day. And of course, tomorrow I'll be going live right at market open again. So set your alarms. I'll be posting the links up in Discord. And of course, if you hit that notification bell on YouTube, you should get alerted if you have notifications on every single time I go live. I know I get alerted, and I get alerts for all the nightly videos and everything too. So have a fantastic day though, guys. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow morning.